All right. Check this out. Let's go, bub.
If Insomniac has proved anything over the last 8 years, it's that they know how to make a hell of a superhero game. Spider-Man remains one of the PlayStation 4's defining action games, and a shining example of open-world design, as are both of its follow-ups. Now they're looking to replicate that magic with Wolverine, albeit this time as a traditional, linear AAA action game. I got to play about 2.5 hours at a recent preview event, and while my impressions are mostly glowingly positive, I did come away with a few questions and concerns.
Okay. I like that.
It's been 48 hours since Essex was captured.
Looks like he's dressed like Cyclops.
Right from the start of my demo, it was very clear that this is a very different kind of Wolverine story than what I was used to. The X-Men haven't been formed yet. Wolverine, Sabretooth, and Mystique are all buds and part of a 3-person task force known as Team X, and they're all led by a not yet sinister-looking man named Nathaniel Essex, who also serves as their mentor and someone looking to help mutants everywhere. That puts them in direct opposition with the mutant-hating Boulevard Trask. And the very first mission of the game has Team X setting out to rescue their mentor from his clutches.
I pulled it off.
It didn't take long after picking up the controller for me to pop out my claws, towards the poor sap, and ventilate his body with 6 holes.
Yeah, sure, you can.
My reaction to the combat in Wolverine was very simply, yeah, this is exactly what I want a Wolverine game to feel like. Combat.
By the way, I was looking up something on Spider-Man versus Wolverine, and I was just thinking to myself, I was like, wait a minute. I know Spider-Man's reflexes are faster than Wolverine's. And, you know, whenever it comes down to two popular characters fighting, basically, it's up to the author to kind of figure out how it's going to go. And, you know, sometimes they'll say, well, you know, like, you know, Superman's speed, depending on the author. You know, Wolverine's healing factor, depending on the author. You know what I'm saying? So there's some wiggle room in there. However, I looked something up. And like Spider-Man outclasses his reflexes and speed in every way. He's literally on another tier. He's on a different level. And he has spider sense to warn him on top of that. So he could dodge in whatever he needs to with Wolverine. And he's massively stronger. But he can dodge all that without the spider sense. And on top of that, Wolverine shouldn't be able to touch him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just certain things to where it's like, you know, like I think I may have the copy. I may have it somewhere. I can't remember what I read, but basically it seemed like Wolverine almost killed the Hulk in that Todd McFarlane one. However, if you know how fast the Hulk really is, how strong the Hulk is, and how durable, plus his healing factor, I don't know if Wolverine should have been able to do that to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just certain things. I'm thinking out loud. I've talked about this in other videos, but that's why I'm telling you again. You know what I'm saying? Because it popped in my head.
It's fast, vicious, and brutal. Even if it is fundamentally similar to what Insomniac has already done with Spider-Man.
That's fine. Similar is fine.
Much like how Spider-Man was able to zip around the battlefield with his webs, Logan can use a gap-closing leap attack to instantly get right up in the face of an enemy, and then proceed to shred them up with a basic melee claw combo, or a powerful kick that can break shields and knock enemies back. That kick ends up being one of the most defining aspects of Wolverine's combat, as you can use it to both knock enemies off cliffs or into walls, and once they're stunned against a wall, you can utilize a highly damaging barrage attack that will generally defeat an enemy right away.
Berserker Barrage!
On the defensive side, Wolverine is a parry-driven game, so you'll always need to have your finger hovering over that L1 button ready to press it on a split second's notice.
That's fine.
These enemies do not wait around for their turn. They are very aggressive, and while the fodder baddies can be dispatched fairly easily, most of the cybernetically enhanced ones have very sturdy defenses that strongly encourage you to parry their attacks in order to open them up. Wolverine also has access to a variety of special moves by holding down L2 and pressing a face button, which are generally reserved for stronger attacks that either do big single damage, deal damage spread out over an area,
it's Mortal Kombat level blood,
limited time buff, etc.
I'm gonna have to edit this so that So that YouTube doesn't give me a
Special moves
problem.
are all tied to individual cooldowns rather than a resource that builds up over the course of combat. The one resource that you do have to keep an eye on is Wolverine's Rage, which is gained simply by dealing damage and killing enemies, but slowly diminishes when you're not actively slicing and dicing. It's a mechanic meant to encourage all-out aggression, which feels very on-brand for Wolverine. There are 3 tiers of Rage that you can unlock by filling up the meter. The first tier is by default and doesn't really come with any benefits. Once you reach tier 2 though, you gain extra damage on your combo finishers, and most importantly, you're able to go into last stand when you lose all of your health. This was a neat way to incorporate Logan's healing factor into the combat design by making it so that as long as Wolverine has a bar of rage in the tank, he can essentially come back from the dead, trading in his rage meter for health. If he goes down without a full bar of rage to spare though, it's game over and back to the last checkpoint for you. At rage tier 3 though is where the party starts. Once he hits that rage threshold, the background turns gray, the enemies get highlighted in red, and all of Wolverine's attacks do dramatically increase damage, with most weaker enemies being executable immediately. This lets you throw caution to the wind and just tear apart entire groups of enemies in quick order. It is quite simply the epitome of the Wolverine power fantasy.
Alright. Ooh!
My overall impression of combat based on what I played is that it's all fundamentally sound, very satisfying, and does a great job of evoking the spirit of Wolverine.
Looks good.
At the same time, it felt like it was missing an element of creativity that I always look for in action. One of the joys of Spider-Man's combat, for example, was all the fun things that you can do that weren't necessarily the optimal way of clearing out a combat encounter, but allowed you to break away from the monotony of just punch, parry, parry, punch, parry, etc. You could bounce off walls, mantle over enemies, slide under them, web them up, yank away.
I'm a guy that when I play something with a really fun combat loop, it almost doesn't matter. Sometimes it could be pretty simplistic. It doesn't matter to me. So it depends. It depends. So I'm going to have to get the feel of the game to know how it looks like I'm going to like it.
Their weapons, swing them around, launch them up for an air combo, knock them away, pull them back, etc. Wolverine mostly just angrily stabs things. And while he is the best there is at what he does, I did wish that
I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
What he does offered a bit more variety.
We don't need you, Runt. Never did.
Now, to be fair, there are some fun ways that Insomniac encourages you to use the environment to your advantage. Like, kicking an enemy into a forklift is always a good time. And there are occasional team-ups that organically feature combination attacks between you and your partner, much like what was seen in Spider-Man 2 and Miles Morales. But on a base level, I do have some concerns about how Wolverine's combat will remain engaging throughout the entire campaign. It's certainly possible for that depth to be uncovered as I get...
If it's fun, it ain't gonna matter. Like I said, if it's fun, it could be shallow as hell. But if it's, it's not gonna matter to you if it's fun. But if not, yeah. Because sometimes you get a little bored with a combat loop and you might just want to do things a little bit differently. And that's where other depth and options come in.
Deeper into the game. There is, after all, a skill tree with a variety of techniques and special moves that I only really scratched the surface of, along with adaptation points that can be spent on a variety of character upgrades. My hope is that those later upgrades and skills add some extra flavor to Wolverine's combat and aren't just more powerful techniques that scale his strength to meet the increased difficulty of later enemies and bosses. Interestingly, the thing that impressed me the most about Wolverine was actually the direction of the story. You've got Wolverine on a team with Mystique and Sabretooth during a time before the forming of the X-Men, with the addition of Jean Grey and Nathaniel Essex as two people that are very important to Wolverine, but also have two very different worldviews. These are all very combustible elements in play, and I'm excited to see where it all goes. Doubly so due to the fact that it's written by Walt Williams of Spec Ops: The Line fame, who is one of the best video game writers in the business. Thus far, the performances have been excellent as well. Liam McIntyre's portrayal of Wolverine is very grounded and paints the picture of a man bottling up a lot of anger and pain, but still has that rough edge and ruthless aggression that fans expect from the character.
Ruthless aggression!
I'm gonna talk to Essex.
I only got to see a little bit of Troy Baker's Nathaniel Essex, but so far, it's shaping up to be yet another memorable and nuanced performance in his stacked resume.
You can...
You came back.
I got to see different sides of both Mystique and Sabretooth than what I'm used to.
But you ain't ever coming back.
Looks like it might be a good
I'm very
Sabretooth.
much looking forward to seeing where Nicole Bissent and Brett Gibson take their respective characters.
It's a strong-ass jaw on Mystique.
Oh, I found something on it.
While much of the demo was spent with Wolverine snarling, growling, and prowling as he found new baddies to stick his claws into, there was one notable section
She's clearly on
PDs! Subdued, and actually ended up being my favorite stretch of gameplay. In it, Wolverine wanders through Lowtown, which is a bit of a safe haven for mutants to congregate. I was able to strike up conversations with fellow mutants, engage in some not-so-friendly arm wrestling with Sabretooth, play a revealing game of Never Have I Ever with Mystique, and even find a handful of Easter eggs tucked away. It was a welcome reprieve from all the action, and I hope that there are more moments like this, where I get to learn more about the characters that inhabit the world.
I just needed some space. From everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
Overall, I walked away from my time with Wolverine impressed, but not thoroughly blown away. It's clear that Insomniac is still holding a lot of cards close to its chest with regards to the story.
She's
and
bloody
that's
too.
The element that has proved to be the most interesting.
Is that spit she knocked out of that dude?
Absolutely nails the spirit of Wolverine and is very fundamentally sound, but leaves me with some questions as to how it will hold up over the course of the entire campaign. We'll see how it all pans out when Wolverine releases on PlayStation 5 on September 15th. For more recent previews, make sure to check out our IGN First coverage of Control Resonant. And for everything else, give it here on IGN.
I like that run. Yeah. All right. So, this looks good. This looks really good. Look really good. Looks really fun. Yeah, I'm ready, you know. I ain't really got much else to say. But once we get our hands on it, then we'll really know. You know what I mean? We'll really know. If you know what I'm talking about, we'll know. So, if anything, that will come in the story part, and fans will let us know. So, yeah, and I'll let you know, too. So, post the comments down below. Let me know what you all think. I already ordered my physical copy. So, yeah. As long as it gets here on time, we're good to go. 10 million subscribers. Woo!